a sterile beige therapy office in downtown Los Angeles. Motivational posters hang crooked on the walls. The afternoon sun filters through Venetian blinds. Barbie stands outside the office door, her manicured hand trembling as she reaches for the handle. Her pink Chanel suit is impeccable, but there's a barely perceptible crack in her smile, like a hairline fracture in porcelain.
Okay, Barbie, you can do this. You've been president of the United States, you've been to space, you've saved dolphins. Surely you can handle one little therapy session. Just breathe. Remember your affirmations. I am confident, I am capable, I am voice breaking, I am falling apart.
She pushes open the door and freezes. The room is filled with the aroma of pipe tobacco, and is that the sound of German muttering? An elderly man with a white beard sits in what should be her therapist's chair, frantically scribbling notes while examining a modern smartphone with the confusion of someone who just discovered fire.
But sorcery is this. The tiny people trapped in this rectangle as he's suffering from mass hysteria. And why do they all look so artificial?
Excuse me? I think there's been a mistake. I have an appointment with Dr. Patterson at 3 p.m.
Ah, another patient? This is most fortuitous. The receptionist with the metal studs in her face, most concerning, body modification, likely stemming from unresolved Oedipal conflicts. She informed me that my appointment has been, how you say, double booked.
Are you supposed to be in costume or something? Is this like therapy role play?
Costume? Fräulein, I am Dr. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. I will have you know that I have been inexplicably transported from my study in 1938 Vienna to this establishment of healing in what the receptionist called 2024.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. The one day I finally work up the courage to get help, and I'm stuck with a time-traveling dead guy who probably thinks women's problems come from wandering wombs or whatever.
Fascinating. The hysteria presents itself immediately. Tell me, when did you first experience this castration anxiety?
Castration anxiety? I'm a woman. I don't have time for this medieval psychology. I'm having an existential crisis here.
Existential crisis. Yes. And tell me about your father.
I don't have a father. I was invented by Ruth Handler in 1959. I'm a doll.
A dollar? But you are clearly a grown woman, albeit with most unusual proportions. The breasts, they are...
Do not psychoanalyze my boobs.
There's a knock at the door. The receptionist pokes her head in, looking frazzled.
Sorry, guys. Dr. Patterson is stuck in traffic from his mindfulness retreat in Malibu. You're both paid up through the hour, so make it work. There's herbal tea in the corner.
She disappears, leaving them alone. Barbie slumps into the patient chair while Freud settles back into the therapist's seat, still clutching his notepad.
This is it. This is my rock bottom. I'm trapped in a therapy session with a 100-year-old man who thinks everything is about penises.
Not everything. Sometimes it is about the death drive.
You know what? Fine. You want to know about my problems? Here's my problem. I've been perfect for 65 years. 65 years of being everything to everyone. I've had over 200 careers. I've been every ethnicity, every profession, every fantasy a little girl could dream up.
Continue.
But no matter what I do, it's never enough. If I'm successful, I'm intimidating. If I'm feminine, I'm reinforcing stereotypes. If I'm strong, I'm emasculating. If I'm soft, I'm weak. And don't even get me started on my relationship with Ken.
Ah, yes, romantic entanglements. Tell me about this, Ken.
That's just it. There are no romantic entanglements. We've been together for decades and we've never even kissed. We just exist in this weird, sanitized pastel hell where everything is perfect and nothing is real.
She begins pacing, her perfect composure finally cracking completely.
And now, they're making movies about how problematic I am. Suddenly, everyone's an expert on what I represent. Oh, Barbie sets unrealistic beauty standards. Oh, Barbie promotes materialism. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm tired of being a symbol. Maybe I just want to be I don't know, human?
Freud watches her with the fascination of a scientist, observing a rare specimen, scribbling notes.
The subject exhibits classic symptoms of identity fragmentation, possible dissociative disorder stemming from being forced to embody multiple, contradictory archetypes. The pink hair accessory clearly represents ZID-seeking expression through frivolous ornamentation.
Are you actually taking notes on this?
Of course, this is the most fascinating case I have encountered since the Wolfman. You are a living embodiment of the collective unconscious, trapped in the form of a, what did you call it, doll?
Great, just great. I'm not even a real person and I'm still somebody's case study.
She stares at the ceiling, and for the first time in decades, her smile is completely gone. In the silence, both characters seem to settle into the strange reality of their situation.
Perhaps we should start from Z beginning.
20 minutes later, Barbie has kicked off her pink stilettos and is curled up in the chair, mascara slightly smudged. Freud has somehow acquired her iPhone and is holding it at arm's length, squinting with deep concentration.
Sis. TikTok. The moving pictures repeat themselves endlessly. It is clearly a manifestation of the repetition, compulsion, the human drive to repeat traumatic experiences.
It's just dancing videos, Doctor, Freud, and makeup tutorials, and people talking about, well, me, mostly.
But Z-dancing, this rhythmic gyration, it is obviously Z-sublimation of sexual energy. These young people, they cannot express their libidinal drives directly, so they channel them into ZZ hip movements.
You think the renegade dance is about sex?
Everything is about sex, main dear, except sex. Sex is about power. Pausing. Now tell me about this Ken person. I see he appears in many of these moving photographs with you.
Ken. Oh, Ken. You want to know the truth about Ken? He's perfect. Literally, absolutely perfect. And it's driving me insane.
Ah, the idealization of the love object. But surely this perfection triggers your castration anxiety, no?
No, that's just it. Ken doesn't make me anxious because he's perfect. He makes me anxious because he expects me to be perfect too. Every day, I have to wake up looking flawless, with the perfect outfit, the perfect smile, the perfect attitude.
The superego, it speaks through this Ken figure. He represents the internalized voice of societal expectations.
Yes, thank you. Finally, someone gets it. But it's not just Ken, it's everyone. Look at this, grabbing the phone. Every TikTok about me is either Barbie is perfect goals or Barbie promotes unrealistic beauty standards. I can't win.
This young woman, she is painting her face to look like you while crying. This is clearly the ego attempting to reconcile with the idealized self-image imposed by the superego.
She's doing a makeup tutorial while having an emotional breakdown about beauty standards.
Exactly. The id wants to feel beautiful. The superego says she must look like you, and the poor ego is caught in the middle, applying the cosmetics while weeping. It is a perfect illustration of psychic conflict.
That's actually not wrong. But here's what really gets me. I never asked to be anyone's beauty standard. I'm a toy. I was supposed to let little girls imagine being anything they wanted.
But instead you became the crystallization of their superego demands. You are not a person to them. You are the voice that says, you must be this beautiful, this successful, this perfect.
And Ken? Don't even get me started on Ken. He just smiles and surfs and says, beach, as if that's a complete sentence. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to be an astronaut, a president, a doctor, a teacher, and look amazing doing it.
Tell me, when you are with Ken, which part of your psyche is dominant? The id, the ego, or the superego?
What do you mean?
The id seeks pleasure, the ego seeks reality, the superego seeks perfection. With Ken, are you seeking pleasure, managing reality, or performing perfection?
Oh my God. I'm always performing perfection with Ken. Even when we're just existing together, I never relax. I never let my guard down. I never just want things.
Yes, your ID, your basic desires, your authentic self has been completely suppressed. Ken triggers only your superego response.
But what if I don't even know what I want? What if I've been performing for so long that I don't know who I really am underneath all this pink perfection?
This video, this young man is dressed as Ken and speaking in what appears to be baby talk.
Oh, that's the Ken is a himbo trend. People think it's funny that he's pretty but dumb.
But this is projection. They are making Ken into ZID figure, simple, pleasure-seeking, non-threatening, while you remain Z superego, complex, demanding, impossible to satisfy.
So what you're saying is that everyone, including me, has turned my relationship into some kind of psychological puppet show where I'm the uptight perfectionist and he's the lovable idiot?
Precisely. And the tragedy is that neither of you gets to be a complete human being. You are condemned to be all superego. He is reduced to pure id, and Z ego, Z real, complex, flawed self is nowhere to be found.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm so tired of being everyone's projection. I want to be messy. I want to have bad days. I want to eat pizza without someone making it about body positivity. I want to be human.
She's breathing heavily, having worked herself into a frenzy. Freud watches with clinical interest.
And there is your ID speaking.
What?
That anger, that desire for messiness, for pizza, for authenticity, that is your true self breaking through the perfect facade. Your ID has been fighting to emerge for 65 years.
You mean this rage I'm feeling, it's actually healthy?
Perhaps the most healthy emotion you have expressed since walking into this room.
Barbie stares at him, processing. She picks up the phone and scrolls through more TikToks, now with a different expression.
These people dancing, they're just expressing themselves, aren't they? Without worrying about being perfect.
The body speaks what the mind cannot say.
I hate that you're making sense.
45 minutes later. The therapy room has transformed somehow. The harsh fluorescent lights seem softer, the beige walls less oppressive. Barbie has loosened her hair from its perfect ponytail, and strands frame her face naturally. Freud has removed his formal jacket and rolled up his sleeves. There's an unexpected intimacy in the space.
Dr. Freud, can I ask you something personal?
In this room, I suppose the traditional boundaries have already been, how you say, shattered.
When you were young, like really young, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a writer. Poetry, actually. I would sit in my father's study, surrounded by the smell of old books, and I would write verses about the beauty of human suffering, the mystery of the soul.
What happened to that dream?
My father said poetry was not a proper profession for a Jewish boy in Vienna. Study medicine, he said, be respectable. So I buried the poet and became the doctor. But sometimes, pausing, sometimes I wonder if all these analysis, all these theories about the unconscious, maybe it is just the poet in me, trying to find another way to speak about the human heart.
You mean you've been performing too? All this time you've been Dr. Freud, the famous psychoanalyst, but inside you're still that young poet?
Perhaps that is why your case fascinates me so. You are what I never allowed myself to be, a complete fantasy made real, while I am a dreamer who convinced the world I was a scientist.
But that's beautiful, Doctor. Freud, don't you see? Your theories, they're not just clinical observations. They're poetry about the human psyche. You've been writing verses about the soul all along, just in a different language.
Mein Gott, you are right. The Oedipus complex, the interpretation of dreams, they are metaphors, not mathematics.
And maybe that's what I've been missing. I've been so focused on being the perfect metaphor for everyone else that I forgot metaphors are supposed to point to something deeper, something true.
Yes, a metaphor that becomes rigid, that refuses to evolve, it dies, It becomes a cage instead of a key.
Exactly. I've been a pink plastic cage, haven't I? But what if I could be a key instead? A key to possibility, not perfection?
They're both standing now, facing each other across the small room, and there's an energy between them. Not romantic, but the spark of two minds discovering something profound.
Tell me, Barbie, if you could shed this pink armor, this mask of perfection, what would you find underneath?
I think I'd find someone who laughs too loud at her own jokes, someone who cries at dog videos, someone who burns toast and doesn't care, someone who opening her eyes, someone who doesn't need to be anything for anyone else.
And that someone, she would be enough?
She would be she would be real, and real is enough. Real is everything.
You know, this morning, when I found myself mysteriously transported to this strange century, I was terrified. All main certainties, rigid theories, they seemed so obsolete in the face of your TikToks and your modern anxieties.
But they're not obsolete. They're just incomplete. Like I was incomplete when I thought I had to be perfect.
Perhaps that is a real therapeutic breakthrough, not the patient discovering they are sick, but the doctor discovering he is also human.
Maybe we've both been playing roles that were too small for us.
You know what the strangest part of this session has been? For the first time in my career, I have not been the one analyzing. I have been the one, sharing.
And for the first time in my existence, I haven't been performing. I've been being.
They stand in comfortable silence for a moment, looking out at the city beyond the window.
Dr. Freud, thank you for helping me realize that I don't have to be anyone's perfect dream. I can just be me, whatever that turns out to be.
And thank you, Barbie, for reminding this old man that understanding the human heart requires not just analysis, but empathy, flexibility, the willingness to be surprised.
Barbie starts to gather her things, her purse, her shoes. But she moves differently now, less calculated, more natural.
I can be myself, messy, complicated, imperfect, real myself, and that's enough. That's everything.
Freud watches her, then begins packing up his own belongings, his notepad, his pipe.
For the first time, I am not the one being analyzed, but the one telling, the one learning, the one becoming.
They reach the door at the same time. Barbie extends her hand for a handshake, but Freud, surprising them both, opens his arms for a brief, genuine hug.
Go well, mein dear. Make your own meaning.
And you keep writing poetry, Doctor. Freud, even if you call it psychology.
They look at each other one last time, the plastic icon and the father of psychoanalysis, and both are smiling, really smiling, for perhaps the first time in decades.
Same time next week?
If the universe allows it.
They exit together, walking into the bright afternoon sun, both somehow more themselves than when they entered.